Okay, so in the previous video we looked at commencing practice experience. We're now going to move over onto tab 2. Just to draw your attention, you can now see that the practice educator here has actually completed the induction program, so that's all done, and but they still haven't actually done your initial interview and signed that off, so I'll be chasing a little bit of that. Okay, so going into skills and competencies, we click on the tab here and that takes us over to skills and competencies. Now this is where you're going to do most of your work while you're in practice experience 1. You can see you've got the field specific competencies here, and it says that they've been started, so we'll look in here and you can see your mentor's been quite busy, or this person's mentor has, and if you scroll down you can see that there's now writing in some of the boxes that are here. It's a pass there, to be achieved, so you can see that only these things are about being ticked off. You can't do anything on this page. This is for your mentor to actually complete as you go along. You can fail them. There is a fail option for the mentor, but hopefully we're not going to see too many of those. These particular competencies must be achieved by the time you finish P1. If there's any doubt that you're not going to be able to achieve one, get in touch with your academic tutor as quickly as possible. We can always, as soon as we know, the quicker we can help you find a solution and get that solved for you. Remember also that if you're not actually going to physically do something, your mentor may well be able to discuss something with you, so you can actually discuss it in principle by question and answer and scenarios, and she may well sign you off on that particular way as well. So read through them, get familiar with them, and if you want to, you can print out the page so you can see exactly where you are. You can do that either here or go back to the print icon on your home page at the top right of the screen, and you can print that section out as we showed you in the overview video. So clicking on home takes us out, and that takes us back again to our skills and competencies tab, because it always takes us to where we were working last. And then we can look at the essential skills clusters. So if you click onto the essential skills clusters, this is the second big set of competencies you need to attain. You can see it looks a bit different. Some of them has got this weird thing here. This ECS, which is an essential skills cluster, is achieved in the grading grid. And what that means, that certainly for the first couple of placements, we've taken big chunks of some of our ECSs, combined them into another learning outcome, and actually are going to achieve them and give you an actual grade. So this is one about professional image. It's what the summative assessment, the graded assessment for P1 is about. Other ones we expect you to either pass or fail. So you can see here you've got passes in here, and some of them have got gaps. Now if you remember, with the essential skills clusters, you can achieve them in P1 or in P2, but you must have achieved them by P2, otherwise you're not going to pass the placement. We would suggest you get as many ticked off in P1 or the first parts of your placement as you can, so that you're not running out of time when you get into P2. Clicking on the home button takes us home again. And we also ask you to do a formative exercise. So I'm going to click on it. The student's done this one, but we'll go and have a look. And what we ask you to do, we're just going to edit that one, is to read through the screen. This one's about professional attitude and behaviour. So read through it and actually try to work through the information you're giving and the instructions in the worksheet. You had a strong jot down of any, so you might think that actually you didn't. You were quite scared because somebody shouted at you. So it's lots of different emotions that you might feel, and quite anxious, maybe something else. And then reflect with your mentor and discuss what your strategies you could have to deal with that. You know, and that's some of it you might want to discuss with your mentor about that. And then when you want to, and you're ready, you can actually add some files if you wanted to add to that as well. Just click the save button. So that's a fairly self-explanatory thing. We'd like you to do them because, as I say, we think it is sort of geared towards your professional assessment at the end. So we think that it will be a helpful thing for you to do and to reflect on your practice. Service user and care involvement. We've got one record here. So what we'd say in this particular one is this is where you actually can ask a service user to give you feedback. So if we just click on the form, we'll see that a new form opens there. If you hold the control key down, the form will open in a separate page, save you having to come out of the portfolio. And here you can see the form. We ask service users or families members to grade you or tick base ticks in the boxes of what they feel that what you're good at. We have things like, you know, ability to work at a team, not lecturing you, telling you being positive and empathetic rather than just sort of very maternalistic and mechanistic in the way that you deal with patients, and some other comments. Once they've done that, you can see you can then save that. If they were doing it on a computer, which they can do, you can save it, or if not, if you've printed it out and you've gone with your mentor to see them, then take a copy of it either on a modern photocopy or scan it, or take a picture on your phone, save it to your computer, and then you can upload it into the portfolio. And that's simply done by clicking on the Add an Attachment button. Make sure the date's right. Choose a file, so you can go in. I'm going to attach something very silly. Here you go, that's a picture. So if you're a child, adult, you could actually choose any cards or anything that they're given you. Click on the open file, put a description, and we're going to call this patient B. And then we're going to save it, and it will tell you that it's uploaded the file, and then we're going to finish. Okay, so you've got another attachment. So you can see that you've got two here. Clicking on home takes you back to where you want to be again, and you can see that the last thing that we've got to look at on this tab is the record of practice experience and visits. So you may not do very many of these in your first placement because you're finding your feet really, and it's about learning about what's happening on the ward and the ward routines. So if you click into this, you can have a look at the interface. We've got one here that's waiting for approval. So here we're going to just add a new visit. So we're going to click Add New. And the last one, you went to outpatients to look at an eye clinic. Say you visited surgery today, so say that you went to see an operation. So you can apply from experience that you went to was theatres. And the name of the practice facilitator and the contact you had could be maybe you went to work with one of the sisters down in there, so you could say Sister Smith. And you can put in Sister Smith's phone number and Sister Smith's email, and then save, or put the number of hours in. So you went down to see that, so it was a couple of hours that you spent in theatre on that day, and then save that. So you can see now your visits come up, and you can see the number of hours you completed. So when you're ready, you can go back and edit it if you think, oh, I've spelt something wrong, or I wanted to put a bit more information on there, and then just commit the submit button. When you submitted these, hit the submit button. It will actually give you somewhere so you can make some comments for your mentor. Say, Dear Sister Smith, thank you for letting me visit. I know my spelling is probably better if I didn't write this too much here. Thank you for letting me visit. Please can you confirm the details of my visit? I told you it would be better if I didn't write too much. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can either save it, or if you're ready, you want to say, oh, well, let's just get this off the desk and send it. And then you'll see that your message has come up and it's been sent and you're waiting. So you can see here that you've got a couple of visits that are outstanding. Now, if you find that you're not getting a response, firstly, the first thing is to make sure they've got the email. Tell them before you're sending it they're going to get an email invite, okay? Second thing that you can do is resend it and just warn them in case it's gone into their junk mail. It would also be nice if you could let us know if it doesn't get through, because occasionally these don't get through because they're blocked, the emails. Not very often, but just on occasion. And if you're still finding that you've got problems, then you can also go back in and edit and actually just submit them to your mentor and ask them if they would countersign them. But any feedback on this section would be really helpful for us. Okay, so that's that particular area. If you go back to your home button. And I think now we've covered all of tab 2, so field specific, essential skills, we've done formative exercises, service user, and record of patient visits and experiences. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next tab in the next video, and then we're going to be looking at continuous assessment.